All right. So last night, Netflix aired live the Tom Brady roast.
Yep.
A couple things off the top. I was given bad information, and we'll find out what that was. And also, it was too long.
It was way too long. It was supposed to be 2.5 hours. It went closer to 3. And my feeling was, and your feeling was, Fred, that a live roast where you're going to have all these comedians, and a lot of them are going to be repeating the same jokes without the benefit of editing, and really taking care of some of these people and doing them a service by cutting out their stuff that didn't land and didn't work. That as a whole, the show is going to suck as a result of it. And in the first 20 seconds, the way they decided to open this thing with a pre-produced opening, boy, oh boy, did it look like this thing was going to suck.
This is a big night. The fans want you. Everyone wants you. But it's not your night. Sorry, Drew. Brady.
Yeah, Coach.
You're in. Let's go.
Let's go. Are you f***ing kidding me? Again?
I saw that open with Belichick, Brady, and Bledsoe, and I thought, this is going to be so hokey, corny, bad.
Comedians wrote that skit, by the way. It wasn't like Bledsoe, Belichick, and Brady got into a room and wrote that.
Where else are they supposed to go with those three? I mean, what could they have possibly written that would have been funny?
You're not a comedian. What possibly could they have written? Give me 24 hours and I could come up with literally 100 concepts better than that, John. Well, first of all, there was no law Bledsoe had to be in it. There was no law that Belichick had to be in it. The only person that had to be in it was Brady. What could they have done with those three? Then don't put those three in it.
Well, good point.
Then don't make that the skit.
Yeah. Good point.
I mean, that's an unfair question. What else were you supposed to do with those three? I don't know. Use anyone else. Use anyone else. Have them come out of a divorce court. Have them have them come out of a bathroom with Guerrero.
Have Eli Manning dressed up as a dominatrix. Something. Anything.
Yeah, have David Tyree in it. If you want to make it about football, do something like that.
The dominatrix idea would have been interesting. Then you would have looked at it and go, okay, we're on our way to something here.
Okay, here's one off the top of my head. Remember Trading Places when Eddie Murphy's first introduced into the film? Have Belichick like Betty Murphy on a skateboard saying,
Funny.
I have no legs,
Funny.
with need money to sign. There you go. That's funnier. Thank you.
They went with that. Kevin Hart came out. He made the same joke 2 or 3 times, and I was ready to tap out 4 minutes in because he said, we're here to roast the greatest quarterback of all time, Joe Montana. Oh, no, it's not. No, see? Ha, ha, ha. Joe Montana's the greatest. I said, it can't be 2.5 hours of this. It was not, because very, very early on, after the Joe Montana joke, Kevin Hart got into his opening set as the host of the night, and he dropped this one.
Giselle said, you retire or we're done. That's what she said to you, Tom. You retire or we're done. And let me tell you something. When you got a chance to go 8 and 9 and all it will cost you is your wife and your kids, you got to do what the you got to do. Do you understand me?
So the first divorce joke came pretty early on in the night.
Yeah, I had got running information. I had heard that they were not allowed to talk about the divorce, which makes sense, I guess, that they were. So there were, thankfully, a lot of divorce jokes, a lot of them funny, and a lot of them you could tell were bothering Brady.
I think this one bothered Brady.
Giselle is actually here supporting you tonight, but just for full transparency, she came as Antonio Brown's +1. How does that? What?
Yeah, Kevin Hart is in scramble mode after the Cat Williams stuff, so he's got to throw. It's just so funny because I think something's about to come out. And it's just, I don't know what it is or what's happening, but it's just, there's a lot of noise. And so I couldn't help it every time I saw Kevin Hart going in the back of his head. He knows this is all about to be over.
Do you want to jump ahead to Andrew Schultz, who made the only reference to that all night long?
Yes, please. Andrew Schultz.
The man in the arena, the GOAT. Tom, I know Bill Belichick showed up late, but don't worry. I'm sure he has someone secretly recording this so we can watch the whole thing later, okay? Bill has secretly filmed more guys playing for the other team than Diddy.
That's your boy, Kev. A lot of tight ends turn wide receivers, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you pulled that.
And no, I was waiting for the camera cut to Kevin Hart. They did not cut to Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I guarantee you that he did not like that because because if you don't know, like a lot of this stuff was being talked about. Like you could just go to complex.com and read it. It's all there. It's being covered like the Kennedy assassination. They got everyone talking about it. I wonder if Kendrick Lamar and Drake have been paid to kind of do something on the side because they've been dissing each other. Were you aware of that, John?
No.
Kendrick Lamar. Did you know that, Nicholas? You're a youngster. You know you didn't know.
Nicholas?
Kendrick Lamar released a diss track. Drake released a diss track, and then like an hour after Drake released a diss track, Kendrick Lamar released a diss track, and it was like 6 different things, like 6 different parts of the song, 2 of which addressing 2 of his children. Then very scathing.
Oh. Interesting choice to put Jeff Ross up, and I don't remember the last time I watched a roast. Jeff Ross, is he normally the host? Is he the guy that hosts, or is he just the guy who comes on last?
It depends. For a while he was hosting, but he generally would be the last guy. But then I heard, because they usually tape him and edit him down. Like if they would have taped the one last night, they probably would have made it 2 hours. They would have cut an hour out of it, which would have helped a lot of people.
Yes.
We'll play it later, but they would have, I think, cut out Kreishner and Segura altogether because they're not funny at all. Either of them, they're not. They're not good comics, and I have friends who like them, and you can swear up and down that they are. They're not, and I knew they were going to suck last night. Bert Kreischer's not even a comedian.
Well, I Kreischer's comedy, I don't quite understand the idea of somebody laughing at their own jokes all night, which he was doing. Segura, I've heard his stand-up. I've never watched him. I've heard it, and I think he's funny, but they put the 2 of them up there together to try and do this really ill-advised audio-visual thing. It did not work.
Yeah,
it didn't land.
Well, Cat Williams was the guy who said, Joe Rogan is responsible for putting 5 terrible stand-ups into arenas. Mm-hmm. So Cat Williams, again, a soothsayer. All right, go ahead.
But Jeff Ross went on first. He was the first guy up there after Kevin Hart.
Tom looks like he bleaches his hole just in case.
Great line. I thought, okay, now there's a lot of homophobic jokes directed toward Tom Brady. A lot of accusations like that. This one, Brady didn't seem to mind that one. This one, he absolutely minded.
That scrawny rookie famously walked into the owner Robert Kraft's office and said, "I'm the best decision your organization has ever made. Would you like a massage?"
Brady got up at that point, and you can't hear it. Other people have transcribed it and said, "Don't do that again. I love that man." I'm like, okay, all right.
Was that the only Kraft massage joke?
That's the only one I remember of the whole night. So
maybe they were told not to do that.
But your favorite Jeff Ross moment of the night, Fred?
Oh, I thought, okay, this one I thought was great. This one took balls, and I'll give Jeff Ross a lot of credit for this one.
And if I ever have a son, I want him to be smart, strong, and driven, just like you, Tom. Which is why tonight at the after party, I'm going to try to your sister. Julie, you're my #1 draft pick. Let's go! I love you guys.
He dropped the mic on that one. That was the last one.
I thought that one, and Brady, and they did show Brady's face in that.
Yeah.
And the thing I liked about that is like the 2 or 3 real mean ones, like about him, like I'm gonna bang your sister. Is that how many times do you think in Tom Brady's life, like in the last, not when he was a rookie or not even like his first couple Super Bowls, but let's say over the last, 15 years, that anyone said anything like that to him? Like anyone has like said anything like, "I want to bang your sister." By the way, have you guys ever hooked up with one of your friend's sisters?
Yeah.
So have I.
Yeah.
Is there anything more glorious in the world than when you've hooked up with one of your friend's sisters and they start to like make fun of you, and then you just there's nothing they can do?
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that?
Okay, hold on a sec. When they start to make fun of you, who's they?
The person whose sister you hooked up with.
Okay.
So you have a friend who
I
your
saw.
friend.
Yes.
All right,
yes,
so I have
yes,
one
yes.
friend. I used to say his name on here, but I won't do it anymore. But I have a friend from college that was really loud and funny and would make fun of people a lot. One weekend, his sister visited the college. She was good looking. And for some whatever miracles, I hooked up with her a couple times. And so this guy would start going, rah, 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 and start ranting and going like, Fred, blah, 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 blah. And I would patiently sit there and I would listen to him.
No.
And I would go, it's so funny that you say that because when I was banging your sister, she said something very similar, only it was more complimentary because she was enjoying me banging her. So there's a special place in my heart. It's the only friend of mine whose sister I've slept with, and it was just glorious. And then fast forward 20 years later, I'm in town with my family, and I'm in this town where he lives with and my family's with me, and we're out to lunch, and he says something out of line, and I'm like, remember when I banged your sister? And I said it in front of my wife at the time and my kids.
See, I don't know why that thought didn't occur to me to ever say that to my friend.
And
but
every time
I still talk to him, so I could.
In credit to my friend though, every time I did it, his face would turn bright red, and he'd go, "Damn it!" and he like had to concede, that there was nothing he could do anymore. All right. So Nikki Glaser, by the way, looked fantastic. She was always good looking, but boy,
she lost a lot of weight, and then she went out and got absolutely killed last night.
Yeah, she was fantastic. We'll play that for you. Plus, I told you Segura and Kreischer were terrible. I got a ton of emails about how bad they were, and we'll have some more from that roast, which was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And Bledsoe, one prediction I made did absolutely come true. Bledsoe can't go 2 seconds without plugging that dumb line in.
Oh, God.
He came up with the wine in his hand, and he can't plug it enough. I can't imagine anyone's bought that. But he plugs the wine.
He took how long was he up there for? 5 minutes? It took him about 90 seconds.
Oh, yeah, and he plugged it more than once.
90 seconds.
Because he told the comedians, write jokes around my wine.
Yes.
Ay, ay, ay. And how many people do you think watching that know who Drew Bledsoe is, in all honesty?
Half?
Yeah, maybe.
Half.
But that's high end.
Well, there
right?
were a lot of Patriots fans, a lot of sports fans watching, so
Yeah.
I would say about half.
Yeah, I don't think that's a ridiculous statement. I'd say it's more like a third. Yeah. But you could make an argument it's even less than that. But maybe half.
Which doesn't speak to anything other than how old we are and how long ago Bledsoe played. I mean, we're talking about, almost 25, 30 years ago now.
Well, plus
that's a long time.
Who remembers Drew Bledsoe? Like, he never did anything. Like, he went to the Super Bowl, but he lost. I mean, it's not like Bledsoe did anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not like of all the quarterbacks who've played since then. Like, it's not like you'd remember him. The Tom Brady roast was live on Netflix yesterday. It was hosted by Kevin Hart, and I'll tell you this: is that it went long. They're usually 3 hours long, and they edit it down to 44 minutes or like an hour and 20 if they want to go 90 minutes with the thing on TV. You knew it was going to be overtime. It was supposed to be 2.5 hours long. It went 3 hours. Some of it was better than I expected. Some of it was as bad as I expected. I had heard that they would not allow them to talk about the divorce. That I learned that was false right away. As they did. Fortunately, good for everyone that they did. But, Hard, did you have how they opened it?
This is a big night. The fans want you. Everyone wants you. But it's not your night. Sorry, Drew. Brady.
Yeah, coach.
You're in. Let's go.
Let's go. Are you f***ing kidding me? Again?
Thought we were in for a real
And then John had made the point when we first played it, like, well, what else were we going to do with the three of them? And I said, well, why have the three of them?
Right. That's a better point. They
Yeah,
shouldn't have done that at all.
There was no law. Drew Bledsoe has to be in your opening segment. And by the way, comedians wrote that. So you can't even put that on Bledsoe, Belichick, or Brady. And what we did learn from this roast, Hardy made the executive decision, the correct one, not to play Brady so we don't have to hear it again. And you just heard Belichick try to act in that. Atrocious on television. They're going to be atrocious on television.
I will say this. Bill had, and might as well do it right here, he had two good jokes.
You know, a lot of people, kind of connected me with a saying called, do your job, and telling people to do their job. And Gronk, I've been watching you on Fox NFL Sunday, and I'm begging you, please, stop doing your job.
Not bad.
Okay, so someone wrote that joke for him, and he decided to throw in 3 vocal ticks.
Well, okay, so he is not great, as you
Play
said.
it again. Play it again.
Why
and tell me how he decided to deliver this joke.
Oh, I'm being kind. The first 2 jokes he tried to get out there.
If this was the hit, because I didn't see him.
The first joke was pretty. It was okay. It was welcome to the Tom Brady roast. I hope you enjoyed the roast of Bill Belichick, the 10-part Apple documentary. Okay, there's a laugh in there somewhere. He stumbled over it so bad that people didn't even know what he said.
Okay, so the joke is he goes, everybody, I'm famous for this phrase, do your job. And I had told it to Tom for years. Tom, you're doing Fox TV. All I got to say is don't do your job. Don't do it. Okay, here's how he decided it.
A lot of people, kind of connected me with a saying called, do your job, and telling people to do their job. And Gronk, I've been watching you on Fox NFL Sunday, and I'm begging you, please, stop doing your job.
Okay, I don't believe that's real crowd noise. I don't believe that's real crowd noise. I don't believe that got that big a laugh. No way. Because if you wouldn't have told me it was a joke coming in, I wouldn't even maybe have known that was a joke.
Well, he made nice with Brady at the end of that thing, and they kind of did this thing. Kevin Hart, this was the douchiest moment of the night by far. After Belichick does this thing, he kind of hugs it out with Brady. Kevin Hart goes out there completely off prompter, off script, and he talks about how awesome it is that Bill came up here to do this. And he said this.
And the middleman is the hypothetical. The middleman is the assumption. Everybody has an assumption about the relationship of. And the dope thing is ultimately when you...
Stop. You think this involves, he's saying this for Diddy?
Oh. Excellent. I didn't even think about that.
Because if you don't know, Kevin Hart, according to Cat Williams, has got some stuff that's about to blow up. I don't know what it is, but it's just read complex.com. Well, they go all over it.
Wait till the end of it.
Hypothetical. The middleman is the assumption. Everybody has an assumption about the relationship of. And the dope thing is ultimately when you see the relationship support one another and have fun with one another, that's what the relationship is. What I'm saying to the world is mind your business. All right? Mind your business. Coach, good ready to come out.
Yeah. Mind your business unless we're begging you to pay attention to us and everything that we do and go see our movies and watch us on the Netflix roast and look at me. But if you're going to say anything that is even remotely critical, mind your business. That's none of your business.
I wonder if that's him addressing the Diddy stuff.
That's wonderful. Wonderful theory.
I just wonder what that is. Like, mind your business. If there's a middleman. I wonder if that's him addressing like his role in the Diddy stuff.
Excellent. I like
He's
it.
like, you're friends with someone.
Yeah.
Because Schultz made the joke that we played earlier about connecting Puffy with or Diddy with Kevin Hart. So that's interesting. Well, one person that legitimately killed was Nikki Glaser. Here's some of what she had to say.
Bert, I love you. You know I'm such a fan of your joke.
Bert Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer. Right.
Mm-hmm. Bert Kreischer. His joke, which is the story of the trip to Moscow when he was in college.
Oh, no, it's not that one. It's the other joke.
Oh, yeah, when he takes his shirt off.
Right.
Bert, I love you. You know I'm such a fan of your joke. It's good. Shirts are supposed to stay on, but he takes it off. So good. Now please give it up for 0-time Super Bowl champion Randy Moss. I'm sorry, Randy. Why ring. Aaron Hernandez had a ring around his neck. Like, what's going on?
That was the other surprise of the night. Many Aaron Hernandez / suicide references / murder references last night. Lots.
Was he secretly gay?
Julian, you have 3 rings around your right now, you squinty high boy.
All right, someone has told me that Nikki Glaser had a relationship with Julian Edelman, but I cannot confirm that.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that.
And so if he did have 3 rings around his thing, maybe she's referring to he's very gifted.
Interesting.
But let's get to the reason we're all here tonight. Drew Bledsoe. Drew bled so Tom could run. But Drew, I'm going to move on from you just like your team did after you almost died. Tom Brady, 5-time Super Bowl MVP, most career wins, most career touchdowns. You have 7 rings. Well, 8 now that Giselle gave hers back, but... Sorry, Tom. Tom, the only thing dumber than you saying yes to this roast was when you said, hey, babe, you should try jujitsu. I think that's gotta suck. Dude, how much would it suck for Tom? Oh, my God. Just knowing your ex-wife's new boyfriend can beat your ass while it hers. That's gotta be terrible. You'll be okay, Tom. Yeah, you're great. You really are. I mean, you're the best to ever play for too long. I mean, you retired, then you came back, and then you retired again. I mean, I get it. It's hard to walk away from something that's not your pregnant girlfriend. It's tough. Hey, to be fair, he didn't know she was pregnant. He just thought she was getting fat. And Tom hates fat. I mean, do you guys know about his diet program? It is so strict, but if you follow it exactly as he does, you too can lose your family. And seriously, you can lose so much family. Tom also lost $30 million in crypto. Tom, how did you fall for that? I mean, even Gronk was like, me know that not real money. Like...
Her jokes about Gronkowski were phenomenal, but we can't play them because it's terrestrial radio. But and I don't even know if you can play them.
That was pretty good.
Oh no, her jokes about Gronkowski being stupid were very good.
Yes.
All right, so this is what I got on Nikki Glaser. By the way, looked phenomenal. Like she's always been good looking. She looked really, really good last night. I don't know if this means anything. Someone who this is about Nikki Glaser and Edelman. Someone who would know told me, I don't know if it's public or not. I didn't really ask. It seemed very unsurprising. His list of famous girls goes up by several every week. All right. Do you want to play a little of Kreischer and Segura, or do you want to play Randy Moss? What do you want to do? It's dealer's choice.
All right, let's do it. Let us do the...
I vote Randy Moss.
No, just let Hardy go. He's looking around.
No. The Randy Moss thing wasn't. It's just weird. It's disjointed. His whole bit was like, "I want a ring," and nobody thought it was funny. Much like they thought 2 professional comedians in Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura were not funny. They had an idea. They were going to go up there as a tag team, and they're going to go up there and they were going to make it all about one joke in particular.
I said, "Hit me." Tom Brady is just like another famous not-so-nice guy.
Wait, you mean that notorious team leader who was told he wasn't any good, but he still pushed through and made sure everyone knew his name?
You got it. Hitler!
Yeah!
They're so alike. The only difference is they look so cute together.
They do.
The only difference between Tom Brady and Hitler is that Hitler stuck with his wife until the end.
At least Hitler had the balls to do what we wish Brady would. Put a bullet in his head. Stay retired.
the whole idea was that he was the greatest white guy of all time, and that look, he's a psychopath. They brought up like this big chart of what makes a psychopath and how Brady checks these boxes, and then they said he's like Hitler. I'm like, and again, the crowd is reacting, and
I don't think that's really
and I think
crowd
they're
noise.
mixing up crowd laughter and noise because like none of it landed.
Well, good for Kreischer, like, to deliver the line. He's like Hitler. Like, that's the. Here, I'm going to
Nick,
make.
do you still have the very beginning of it when Kreischer is laughing at himself?
Just pull anything.
Yeah.
That Bert Kreischer has ever done. He's constantly laughing at himself in an exaggerated fake laugh, and even his fans know that. I mean, Bert Kreischer laughs at everything, and it's not a real laugh.
No, anytime you hear a comedian doing that, breaking. It's so funny. It's so outrageous. They're breaking. There's no way they're still laughing at their own stuff especially when they're doing it night after night after night, and they're on tour. So it makes it. Here we go.
He was just like Hitler. All right.
We don't have it. Never mind.
Yeah,
whatever.
Don't bother Nicholas. He just pointed to you that you have it.
Okay.
He's pointing to you like, hey, you got it, buddy.
Okay. Here. There it is from the very beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, for turning this special night into one more opportunity you couldn't turn down.
God, you are such a whore. And that's coming from me, Jeff.
Thank you for inviting us to celebrate the GOAT WG.
Wait, what's that? Wait, GOAT WG?
Greatest of all time white guy.
Yeah!
Greatest of all time white guy. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Well, anyway. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Now, listen, Hardy came in a little sassy today because he stayed up for all 3 hours of it. I did not. I had to bail out. After Nikki Glazer, I was like, okay, I've seen that. Nikki Glazer was great. And then I was like, and then I saw Randy Moss, and then I went, okay, no more. I've seen and then I saw Bledsoe, who plugged his wine, which I told you he would. He's got this like obsession. He's like, Ray Bork with the restaurant. Like anytime you talk to him, he just has to talk about that wine. He wove it in. He had the comedians that wrote for him weave it into his material. He was holding a glass of it while he was up there.
But explain to me why, again, they can't just edit that thing and put it on at 8:00 tonight.
Okay, so what I heard about Netflix, and this isn't like a rumor like I had heard about not being able to talk about the divorce, which again I had heard wrong. Obviously, was that that Netflix likes live programming because the idea of having all eyes on it at the same time is better than people watching it sporadically throughout a course of like a month.
And I guess some of that stuff would leak out. The stuff that happened last night, we'd be hearing about today, and not as many people would feel compelled to watch it tonight.
But it's almost like they would. I have heard that they would prefer 10 million people to watch something at the same time than 15 million people to watch something over the course of a month.
Interesting.
And that's I told you that's what I heard about podcasts is that they're hard to monetize because if you can tell like Dunkin' Donuts that this show, who we can prove has this many listeners at this time, will be hearing your ad, they want that. Like episodic audio programming, I know, is difficult to sell. And like for streamers, the appeal of having live eyes on your product is big for them, which is why they were throwing all that money out to comedians to go live. Because like Chris Rock, apparently at the end of his set that he did live on Netflix, was kind of pissed because he had had stumbled over some jokes that he thought he could have done better.
Oh, yeah.
So ideally, you want to tape your specials. Most specials that you see from comedians are two sets that they've combined into one.
Right.
Like they'll do the same theater twice and they'll combine it into one set.
And you can tell when you're watching one of those because they will go back to a certain point on the stage and you think they're restarting the joke because that's the only way they can remember it. They're live editing is what they're doing. They're
Netflix will overpay like Chappelle and Chris Rock to do live things because they want the eyes at the same time.
Yeah.
There is an appeal to them to have the live event. Now, it would have been much better edited down. You watched the whole thing. Don't you think they could have cut, an hour out of that thing?
At least you cut the entire Randy Moss. You cut all of Segura and Kreischer.
I bet you they wish they cut all of Segura.
You know what? I bet they wish they could cut Tom Brady because it was, Brady, you got to put the guy up there at the end of the night. It's his chance to defend himself.
He had one really good one.
One good line?
One really good line.
Which was?
About the Belichick and the ring camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you just
that
like
was
because he talked about the ring camera.
That was one really good line.
And another thing they could have done with Brady is they could have given him double the material. He could have done it, and they could have edited it down to like a tenth of what he did.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even knowing you were being taped and they were only going to use a tenth of your jokes, like 1 out of every 10 jokes,
right,
relaxes you to the point where you're kind of, because then you can screw up a bunch. There's a lot of, it's a better product taped by far. But they want it live. That's the deal. And so if you watched it, congratulations.
Kim Kardashian was only up there for 2 minutes, but she got booed mercilessly for the first 30 seconds, so they probably would have cut that out altogether.
She did for real?
Yeah. I've seen the video.
Why'd she get booed? What'd she do?
I didn't do anything, as far as I can tell.
Ray J fans?
No, I did.
Ray J never got the porn money. Ray J never got the big boost. He was the one doing all the work in that porn that made Kim Kardashian famous that her family signed off on.
If you like that clip, and how could you not? Check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. And for the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.